abundant in purpose. Gods, Ubin, you're looking ancient. It's not very nice. Comes with being old. And if there is Wagner, there must be Hagen. And there he is. Must there. This guy's just appear out of nowhere. Still bleeding tributes from the poor and stupid old yaks. At what age do you lose a sense of shame? Jorund demands it. I'll take that over lingering to death in Grafheim. Speaking of, I had no sense that you were so far from home. I returned from Arborhang, in fact, just returned. And glad for it. Hakon motions to the other ships in the bay, sails still fluttering, golden wolf head, emblazoned on red, the king of men, or someone on his behalf. The king's whelp. The king's son, Ludin, don't you know Scrivener? We visit the capital, he visits ours. It's how you make alliances these days. It's a miserable, wasted time. Yes, Hakon has it. I'd almost forgotten. It's a good thing you're around, Hakon. And you're going to Grafheim. I have the distinct feeling I finished my business in Strand and was heading there myself. We should caravan. We should. Give it a day. In better circumstances, I'd drink a week away, but let's just be done. Find me tomorrow at the gates. What he's trying to say is the prince is a delight to behold. Where is Morg? Haken, have him find a place to put up the warriors. I'm heading up to meet the governor. A host of giants depart in his wake. You recognize a few, others strangers to you. Guess I'm off to find Morg. Morger, see you in the morning, Scrivener. I'll be along. Scrivener must be like a derogatory sort of thing that they're using in jest. The young prince of men ambles from his ship. He brushes off his tunic, scanning the beach with low eyelids. Ludin looks for all the world the sort of boy who grew up pulling the legs from spiders. The long road back to Grafheim should be more interesting than most years, you think. It's quite the assessment you've made. Weariness suddenly settles in, and you chuckle to yourself about what an odd day it's been. One of the governor's men in the Great Hall could find you a place to sleep. On the other hand, if you're going to join Wagner's caravan tomorrow, it might not hurt to share a drink with Hagen, or introduce yourself to the prince who's spoke so highly of. Let's meet and greet. This is Hagen here. Let's go talk to him first. Says Scrivener. You find Hagen in the mead house, surrounded by other Varro. Strand is no stranger to Varro, but rarely sees as many. Hagen waves you over. Went straight for a flagon. Wagner's the one who agreed to pass up a drink. I wasn't invited to the governor's hall anyway. You already missed the massacre. Every year I make the rounds collecting taxes. Every year it's the human settlements that give me trouble. No surprise. What this time? When I got here, the Great Hall was already full of bodies. We added a few more. Ha! Humans. I guess if I only lived as long as the Oxford, I might be desperate to make something of myself too. It's not too late to start trying, Hagen. Hagen let slip a low chuckle. Any Varro could recount his deeds, known as he is for cutting a swath through dredge at Wagner's side in the Second War, and regularly since then. Down here, I'm a glorified bodyguard. You might have a point. Just another reason to get back to Grafheim. Soon enough, I imagine. You drink until the mead house becomes overbearing. Then step into the cool air outside. Alright. Let's go meet this prince now that we have a few drinks in us. Is this the right place? You find the prince at an inn. Guards blanket the building, including a sharp-eyed Varro who must be working for Ludin. A woman in red eventually waves you over and stands nearby, arms crossed. Greetings, Prince Ludin. Yes, you're with Wagner. I don't remember you. Not exactly. I've known Wagner a long time. I'll be joining you back to Grafheim with my guards. Ludin looks up for the first time. The woman doesn't react. Why? I work for the king. this grand alliance for the next age of man and Pharaoh. You sound unconvinced. There's no need for it, and it's damn cold up there. You get the sense he's struggling not to complain outright. You take the opportunity to excuse yourself. I thought that was complaining outright. Alright, great haul it is. At dawn, you're awoken by a delivery of goods. At least you think it's dawn. Damn hard to tell with the sun that never moves. The governor's crest adorns the supply letters. All there, just as promised. To your mild surprise, you wonder if Eric had anything to do with that. Your guides take the treasure wagon down to the gates. Wagner is already here. A while later, Luton and the men appear, groggy and disheveled. Wagner steps forward. Wagner's quartermaster, if you recall correctly, in charge of his unwieldy entourage of warriors. You know him only in passing. He asks if you're ready to depart. I apparently have to be. You follow him, Walker, and join the others. Usually the smaller doors set into the gates will be enough to enter or leave the city, but the town guards have been told to push them open entirely. They mutter things under their breath that are best not heard. Perhaps the governor expected you to draw a crowd, but there's nothing of the sort. Just frustrated, tired people. It summarizes Strand well as a whole, you think. Away we go. Grofheim, I believe it is where we're headed then. So up here is a couple of things. This is my run out. Basically, you can consider my experience points. These are the number of days, and as we travel, they do pass. And you'll notice that each day that goes by, our day of supplies does drop by 1. We have 85 fighters and 366 foul, and this here is my more, which is great. The caravan stops for the day. A gift, says Monger, cracking open meat casks from our gracious friend, the governor of Strand. Hours pass with raucous laughter as the meat is passed through our camp. Drink a little, drink a lot. Toast to Wagner. Sure, you raise your drink, toasting the alliance between man and Pharaoh. The others join in. Luton's expression is like a stone wall, but the others laugh at your exaggerations. Eventually, you sit down beside Wagner. Chat with Wagner. Drink merrily. Go easy on the drink. Let's chat with Wagner. Thanks for the speech, slays Wagner. Looks like you didn't have to miss out after all. Thanks to Monger. I thought the damn governor would never shut up. Did he give you the history of his entire family? He tried, and he asked me to clean up his mess. For your benefit, turns out. I'd have given the job to you too. Gods, there's no joy in politics. Speaking of, what happens after this business with Luton? Hopefully the boy goes back to Arborang on his own, and I can take out some frustration on Dredge or something. Starting to sound like Hacken. You don't like the life of a diplomat. Ha! Don't you miss the fight, Reuben? You down your mead instead of replying. Wagner slouches and shakes his head. There's no great joy in killing Dredge, but pretty sure this nonsense is some scheme between the two kings to force some kind of alliance. Used to be warriors would follow you for what you've done. Isn't that why they follow you now? Is it? Or is it because I'm the next in line? These lines are getting muddy, old Barrel. They've always been muddy, Wagner. Wagner stares into the campfire, lost in thought. You leave him to it. I'm liking how the story is unfolding. You rise groggily. The campsite, a casualty of merriment. Wagner is already kicking warriors awake when you spot Luton stalking your direction. He sidesteps sleeping bodies. Better wake up. You nudge Wagner. You're needed. Ah, it's Luton. Always a pleasure. You look well rested. Wagner releases a caged yawn and receives a hard-eyed stare in return. How long to Grofheim? We're only 2 days out of Strand, you know. Come, I'll show you on a map. You would think this guy would know this already. Well, this is the world, and this is us. And Strand is where we just came from, which is right here, I guess. Yes. Okay, this makes sense. Let's read a little bit about Strand. As close as anything comes to a bastion of racial tolerance, both men and Varro compete to scratch at a living in this, the biggest trade city along the west coast. Many people still believe the god Dengler still watches over it, granting good fortune. There is a lot of weird fantasy names in this, so it's almost hard to wrap my head around. So we're here, and we're heading to Grofheim in this way direction. So we're gonna go across the wandering road. I'm trying to find it on the map here, and I don't seem to see it. Let's see if we can find it here. Greyhorn, Settlerhund. No. Am I blind? Is it anywheres in Ron? This is the province that we're in. The long snowfields, tall mountains, and sparse woods of Ron used to be the gathering place of Dredge during the Second Great War. As Varro pushed them ever northward, they took the land and settled it themselves, preferring the cold expanses over warm, busier lands of men to the south. Now the territory is almost entirely Varro. Okay, great. So this is basically the Varro's homeland now that they've pushed the tribe back. I'm gonna give up on looking for Grofheim here any second. I don't think it's that far north. Oh my gosh, this is there it is in big giant letters in front of my face. This is where we're headed. Grofheim, the last home of the Varro and seat of their power, founded by Arnfinnr, the second Varro king. Though the Varro have moved around a lot, most consider Grofheim their capital. The deeds of Varro are honored here, and all warriors of worth are buried at the foot of the two spears, where they are said to become part of the Varro's march itself. Beautiful. And let's just, since we're going to be on this road for a while, let's actually check out just a couple more nearby. Fetterfell, named Bad Weather. The gates that blow in. Fetterfell, named Bad Weather. The gates that blow in from the bay and around the mountain peaks keep Fetterfell in a generally unpleasant state. What really cemented the name was the kind of person who would live there. Men cast out from Strand for one reason or another, with nowhere else to go. Now let's look at the last gate. The crossing of a small bridge leading from Fetterfell onto the wandering road, marked by a small but significant moment in which the Varro truly separated itself from humanity, in search of their own lands. Wow, every single thing that appears to be drawn, almost you can click on. Certainly anything with a name, that is, anyway. Okay, let's move on here. I'm curious to read a couple more, but I'm sure I will in the future. Faulkner. We head north, then east, past the forts. Grofheim's far from Strand. Going to be a long march. You should have drank last night, Luton. Why not take the ships to Skrymerstead? There it is. What's the point of marching? The Silverstone Bay is called that for a reason. It stays covered in ice all year. It would tear up the longships. Too bad, though. We could have shown you all the wonders of Skrymerstead. A half-second city crawling with dredge, prints, dredges, and glaciers. You like glaciers? Luton exhales through the nose, a disguise for his contempt. He turns and bats aside the tent flaps as he goes, barking at his company in the distance. Don't poke the ant out, Faulkner. He seems no happier to be here than you. I'm having a good time. Spend a few more days with the boy, old friend. He'll be looking for a tall cliff to hop off, too. Luton's got a shorter wick than Hacken. Thanks, Faulkner. Let's get moving. Another half day to Fetterfell if we're lucky. Camp is a way to manage your caravan. During travel, you can enter camp at any time by clicking the camp button on the travel HUD. While at camp or in towns, you can upgrade your allies or equip items in the hero's tent. You can pass time by using the rest tent. Resting will improve the caravan's morale. High morale will reduce casualties and more and affect your willpower in combat. You Each passing day will use supplies, so only rest when necessary. The training tent will allow you to safely try out any characters in a mock battle. Click leave at the bottom of the campsite when you're ready to get back to the road. Okay, cool. Okay, let's go to the hero's tent and see about upgrading some of our characters. Click on a unit to view stats. Okay, promote ranks, learn about abilities. Click on the ability button here to learn the unit's ability. Bring the pain. The Shieldmaster strikes an adjacent enemy for armor damage before hunkering down and boosting his passive ability. Return the favor to return even more armor damage for one turn. By using Bring the Pain, the Shieldmaster can create a forward charge that punishes his enemy for ganging up against him. Okay. Return the favor. A character who attacks a shield banger loses 1 point of armor for each strike he makes. Return the favor triggers every time the shield banger takes damage from an adjacent enemy, which can make it devastating to hit him with attacks that strike multiple times. I could imagine. Be tough to know exactly when to use that, so Maugre does not have a level. Okay, what's this? Maugre, an old hand in viral culture. Along the front line of the fight against the dredge, he's had the occasional brush with leading a clan of his own, but eventually settled down into commanding Maugre's personal army of viral warriors. He's already respected amongst them. Good off. And we can promote him, so let's go ahead and do that. Promotion. The greatest warriors on the battlefield are those who live past their first battles to start a journey down the path to legend. As in this guy already been in a bunch of battles. Build higher stats and increase your item rank. Are you sure you want to promote? Yeah. Let's do it. I can promote him again, I think. That's awesome. Oh, this said build higher stats improves my ability and increases item rank. Like 10 renown. I have 31, so why not? There, I've done it. So, he's level 3 now. Tempest the Warlock uses his massive weight to sweep his weapon around himself, hitting multiple adjacent targets, friend or foe, for normal strength damage. Tempest triggers a Warlock's passive ability, Heavy Impact, which in turn can cause a chain reaction of destruction if used in close quarters, keeping the Warlock out of harm's way. Until late in the fight, will maximize his effectiveness. I get it. That way the other guys get brought down a bit, and then he can kind of finish them off in one fell sweep. The warrior hits so hard that any enemies standing adjacent to his target on a strength attack take 1 strength damage from the shockwave. Hitting a large target like a viral or dredge who takes up to 4 tiles can potentially cause an impact across many more victims than hitting a single square target such as a human. Oh, that's really cool, actually. So, I'm not really sure what I want to level up here. I have 4 points available. I'm actually not sure how to distribute them. I would like to level up one of these, actually. I don't seem to be able to, though, so what else do we have? Oh, that one worked. Oh, these maybe, he's a rank 3, so this just is already gonna happen. He's gonna hit, wow, up to 4 enemies, that's probably gonna come in really handy. Okay, so how do I, okay, so, I gotta reboot some of these too, because I honestly don't know. I have not played very much of this game. Oh, armor blocks damage. Your strength, alright, strength is both damage and health. Your strength drops to 0, the unit falls unconscious. Willpower is spent to move for hit harder and perform your ability, but does not replenish. An exertion is the amount of willpower you can use on any given action. Break is the amount of direct damage you can naturally do to an enemy's armor. Oh, that's like, oh, that seems like the one to do. Because even if I do a strength attack, I think that's gonna still do some armor damage no matter what, so. Okay, so, let's maybe just go with 1, and, we'll attempt to 2. Let's go with exertion. Phone 9. Okay, fine. I guess not. Let me just. I hate to go back in here. I just wanted to make sure there wasn't anything else that I missed. Very well, let us continue. Actually, I think this is a good spot to end the episode. I do apologize that there were no battles in this one, but I'm sure there will be in the next. If you were looking forward to it anyway, hopefully you found this relaxing or enjoyable, or both. And I love getting feedback, so if you could let me know how things were as far as the audio and if there's anything I could do to improve or anything else, I'd love to hear it. So thanks again, and